Tip of the tongue.
Brr, brr. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1.
Tip of the tongue.
Good evening and welcome to the Marshall Hangout with Kerry-anne. This evening, I'm so excited to be hanging out with Steve. Just Steve.
There is no second part to that name.
It's just Steve.
It's just Steve.
Go Google him for more information to find out more about his music.
There aren't any other famous Steves in South Africa, fortunately, so
Yeah.
that'll get you there.
Hey, I'm Steve. No, he did want to be difficult and make everyone's lives more difficult, especially
kinda my vibe.
MCs and presenters. But here we go.
All right. Yeah, you got it.
And good evening, this is Steve Umculo. Correct.
I mean, sure.
I'm on the right path.
Okay, yeah, almost there. Yeah, Umculo. For those of you who couldn't hear through the multiple C's that Kerry-anne pronounced.
Steve?
Steve. just Steve.
Just Steve.
You can call me Steve. Steve is fine.
Excellent.
Yeah.
My makeup's gonna run. How you doing, dude?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm a lot better now that the gigs are happening. Level 1 is here.
Yes. Amazing.
Very exciting.
And you are killing it. Can you stop?
I mean, it's there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff happening. Can I stop? Yes, but
Do you wanna?
no, I don't want to stop.
No.
I would much rather be in this position than the position we were in a year and a half ago.
Did. Yeah. So I started hearing your name being whispered, Steve Umculo, about 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
How long have you been performing? How long have you been a performing artist for?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, so the first time I put this live show together,
Yeah.
I came up with the pseudonym Steve Umculo in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, 2016. But I was still living in Spain at the time. And then I really put this live act together in 2019 for Splashy 2019. When I got asked to play, I was like, okay, well, not asked, I submitted. And then they were like, yeah, we dig your vibes, come on down. So then I was like, okay, well, I need to make something cool here. There wasn't really budget to hire a band or anything. So I was like, well, I used to be a drummer. So, well, I mean, still am a drummer in some senses, I suppose. And I figured, well, why not put together a bit of a loop set? I can take like a stand-up drum kit, and I just started to piece together this live act. So Steve Umculo, like as it is today, like, you know, that you would have seen at Misty Waters, only really has existed since 2019, since Splashy 2019.
Okay.
So yeah, so I suppose 3 years kind of makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Well, excuse me,
No
through all
worries.
the weird hardships and the craziness we've all had to go through, you came out the other side, and after hearing your name a lot and so many people just loving your vibe, I was like, who is this guy? And I obviously checked you out more and more, and you blew my mind.
Thanks, man.
at Misty Waters. What a performance. And I think it's pretty tricky for a one-man band to captivate an audience the way you do and to really engage. And I think your strength really is the way you have a relationship with your audience and the way you play all of those instruments. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
I suppose like the the disclaimer with this particular live act is just kind of jack of all trades, master of none. I don't necessarily consider myself a virtuoso in anything really, but I figured, you know, I can play a little bit of drums, I can play a bit of guitar, I can sing a little bit. So why not kind of just try and put them together? And people seem to be responding quite well to it. So yeah, I've really thoroughly enjoyed the last 3 years and piecing this thing together slowly but surely, and it's been cool.
It's really, really cool, and more than it being cool and everything that people can enjoy, I think the key word is fun.
Yeah, sure.
It's so fun, your show.
Thank you very much. Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the purpose of it, is kind of like to say, here's 45 minutes of an act where we can all just dance and kind of leave our troubles at the door,
Yeah.
and just kind of have some happy vibes
Yes, exactly. But your show is a happy vibe from start to finish.
I just want to say it's jack of all trades and master of none, but better than a master of one.
Aw,
That's the full quote.
thanks to your fault. I don't think I've heard the second part of that before.
That's actually the full quote.
You're trying to stop it.
Do you want to come say that into the lapel mic?
No.
I need you to say that
Stop
again.
stealing my light. My thunder. Cuckoo, caca.
Turn the camera around. Yeah, I can see the screen, bro. There's nothing going on that. It's dark as all hell.
He deserves that. But really, your concerts are fun, and I don't think anyone leaves a Steve Umculo flip.
You can. It's fun. It's
Adele and
do you know what it
Puerto
is? Do
as
you know what-
well. Thank you, Adele. That was tricky.
Yes,
Puerto,
yeah.
Puerto.
So the Q's are Q, the X's are, and the C's are. So I'm not a native Zulu speaker myself, and I actually, this has been such a fun thing, like to have with interviews, and because it's such an icebreaker. So when I originally came up with this in Spain, I did a radio interview in Spanish, and I don't know how PG this show is, but culo in Spanish means something very different. It's asshole. So if you were to say un culo in Spanish, it sounds like you're saying one arsehole. So even in that language, it was quite a cool icebreaker to have in interviews. And then now, because like we live in such a diverse country with so many different tongues, it's umculo, like it just opens up conversation all the time. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the purpose of the entire exercise. So I
You know that I'm going to be emceeing him onto stage at some festival, and I'm going to be like, "Good afternoon and welcome to Steve One Arsehole."
That's honestly what would happen in Spain, because I did this radio interview, and then I had a band at that point in time, so we would go and then like guys in the audience would be like, "Oh, there's the dude, there's one arsehole guy," you know. So which was quite a fun little like anecdote that I took away from Spain. But then like for it to translate here to also be an icebreaker, I think it's just like it's been a really cool journey with this particular stage name, because it kind of just opens up this massive conversation, and then it also, like, you know, there's a whole bunch of like serious conversations that you can have about it as well. But if at surface level, like, it's just kind of like it's a fun thing to chat about and a fun thing to sort of just like practice and to, you know.
It is, but now tell me, so you obviously speak Spanish, and you've got those you've got them down.
Yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Well, Spanish is kind of my second language, I would say. So it's English first language, and then Spanish second, because I lived there. The thing about South Africa and multilinguistics, let's call it that, is that, you know, in South Africa we tend to sort of stick within our bubbles, and I'm no guiltless party. I do the same thing. So wherever I go, there's a tendency to speak English. So I don't have as much practice as I would maybe like. Although, I mean, like, that being said, you know, you can always practice more if you really put yourself in the deep end. So I'm learning Zulu, Gangane for Zulu speakers out there. And I mean, Afrikaans I can understand a lot more than
Give
I
us
can
a
speak it.
sentence
What?
in Afrikaans.
Ek kan verstaan Afrikaans, I don't know. Like,
I thought it was going to be way more ridiculous. You being you.
maar ek kan nie praat nie. My Afrikaans is baie sleg. Ek sê altyd vir die Afrikaanse mense.
That's not bad at all.
But well, it's not. I mean, like, it's surface level stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
Spanish I had to learn because in Spain
What were you doing in Spain?
I was studying in Spain. I was studying music in Spain.
Okay.
And in Spain, I mean, they just, like, it's Spanish or die, you know. And the best way I found in Spain to learn Spanish was to take a taxi somewhere. So I would often find myself just kind of like telling the taxi driver to carry on, because he would just speak at me. And then the cool thing about the Spanish is it's very it's like South African culture, very accommodating, and they're willing to help you out all the time. So if you're gonna sound like a 5-year-old child speaking a language, it's like where I am with my Zulu now. You know, I'm not good at it, but I'm willing to give it a try. You know, and the cool thing about South Africans and the Spanish is people are always willing to like help you.
I love the Spanish.
Yeah, no, they're amazing.
Just beautiful people. Yeah.
So slowly but surely, I just like would pick up the language slowly. So living there for a year and having that's not a word, having to speak the yeah, no, apparently my English isn't that good either. Having to speak the language, you know, you pick it up quickly. So yeah, I suppose, you know, it's one of those things. I can afford to put myself in the deep end a little bit more when it comes to learning native African tongues.
That's
you know.
amazing.
Well, I mean, it's a process, but I'm getting there.
I think it's really important to be able to speak an African language. We have 11, don't we, in South Africa?
We have 9 native 11 official languages,
Yeah.
but 9 of them are native African.
Yeah. So it's great to be able to speak at least one of them. I mean, I can say, you know, hello and
Yeah,
take
yeah.
care and kind
Yeah.
of that kind of stuff. But it'd be so great if everyone had an African language as a second language.
Well, this is kind of the it's one of the things that I tried to promote with this project is cultural and racial integration in South Africa. I think we do a lot. We have come a long way, and we do try a lot of the time. But as I say, I think people in South Africa get very comfortable in their bubbles. You know, I think we can probably avoid a lot of hate and atrocity if people just understood each other a bit more.
Yeah.
And the basis of that is language. You know,
music.
And music, yes. Music actually is a massive part of it.
Exactly. So combining language and music, the way you're doing it, is magic.
Thank you.
What a special thing.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean,
very,
it's
very cool.
but as I say, it's a process. It's
Yeah,
I'm always learning along the way, and I'm learning more about myself with this project than I thought I would. But it's cool. It's very cool.
Very, very cool. And so music all the way. That's it for just Steve.
Yeah, just Steve. Yeah, music. It's been like I don't know what else I would do. I tried doing a BCom once, didn't go well. It was dismal, to say the least. So after that, I was just like, well, you know, I've loved music all my life. I've kind of spent most of my time doing music. Why not just give it my best shot, you know?
And you are. Wow.
Thank
You
you.
are really, really rocking it. You're on all the awesome lineups. You're playing with incredible artists
Thank you
on
very
those
much.
lineups, and you're doing such great things. And I'm so happy for you because
Thank
I
you.
think you are a beautiful human, and I think you deserve everything and more. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked at how well you're doing. It's
Thank you so
amazing.
much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, like you know, I think it's tough for anybody in this industry to make a name for themselves, and if the last 3 years have taught me anything, it's just like resilience, man. It's just, you know, a massive part of this, especially, I mean, coronavirus wasn't easy on anyone, but a massive part of this was just, and the journey continues, obviously. It's not like I've peaked now, guys. I'm just going to go back to accounting. No, like it's always going to be a journey, I hope, in my life. And, but a massive part of the last 3 years is learning resilience. Like, just rejection is going to be a part of it. You know, hard yards, carrying a lot of gear for
Because you're a one-man band. Come in, guys, and your setup time is 4 hours before.
It really is. Well, yeah, depending on if they take PA, but like, it is a long time. It's so hard at the moment. The other day I was in a gig. I take two changes of clothes wherever I go. The shorts and slops for setup, and then jeans and this thing for the actual performance. That's the strategy now.
It is. It's boiling. It is blazing hot, and for everything you've got to set up, and the sound checks and line checks and all kinds of stuff, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
But I want to go back. You say that music has been a part of you for as long as you can remember.
Yeah.
What was the first album you bought?
The first album I bought,
Yeah.
I think it was Offspring Smash.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I
Yeah.
think that was the first one. And then because I mean I was listening to it. I mean, I suppose I was too young to actually buy albums like pop albums back in the day. You know, like when you're a kid, you're sort of just listening to what is on the radio. But I remember the first album that I connected with was Offspring Smash.
What a great album.
Yeah, and then from there it was just like a whole bunch of like pop punk stuff into like hardcore punk stuff into like metal stuff. So I can, yeah, that's probably like the dawn of my fascination with like original music and producing albums and stuff was Offspring. Yeah,
That's very cool, and I think maybe the fact that you started punk and you went as a hard punk and then metal and all that kind of stuff, I think it's really influenced your sound, because your sound is quite diverse and quite fun.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I suppose like for anybody in the rock scene growing up, I mean everybody kind of winds through all these sort of genres, barring like a handful of punks that are still like heavy in the scene. And if you guys are watching, like kudos to you, you stuck it out. But you know, going like through my teens, a lot of rock music that I still listen to today, and metal and stuff. I mean, and naturally, anything that you do listen to throughout your own career is going to affect the way you create music.
Of course.
And I mean, when I was creating music in my teens, it was only really like hard hitting punk, and then I started in my late teens, started listening to a bit more sort of indie pop kind of stuff, and then that influenced the way I wrote back then. And then I was in a funk band, like a Chili Peppers kind of vibe. And then in my 20s, I started listening to far more African roots styles, like isiTata Mia and Imbaqanga and stuff. And like it was that naturally again influenced. So you're right, it eventually becomes like a smorgasbord of a whole bunch of genres that you listen to throughout your entire life when you create, which I really like. I like the fact that there's like this accessibility to a whole bunch of weird genres that I've listened to in my life. Like if you listen to my song Emancipate during the guitar solo, it's just like which I mean naturally would come from what I was writing in my teen years, but it felt natural, which that probably doesn't sit in every sort of pop indie song you hear, but it felt natural to go that route because I was like, well, this is what I wrote for a lot of years of my life, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose you're right. Like a lot of that stuff comes into what I'm writing at the moment, which is. It's nice to have that available.
It is, of course it is. I think the more music you listen to in any genre, I am loving, and I'm not a musician, I'm not about to go into studio and start producing something.
Well, I mean, but you know a lot about music is the point.
Yes, but I'm not going to be influenced because I am loving right now driving home from a gig, obviously, because I'm always listening to music and I'm always at festivals and gigs and I'm always DJing or emceeing or doing something. When I'm in my car, I'm like, and it's my little happy place now, and I often turn Lotus FM on, and I am having the best time of my life.
Hell yeah.
Best time of my entire life. I don't know what any of the songs are, and I'm never going to like go, I heard that one yesterday. It's one of my favorites. But but I am loving it so much.
Good cruising music.
Yeah, it's so great.
And actually, this is the thing, is that there are a lot of, I do like occasionally going through the radio stations in South Africa, and just like, it is so diverse as well. Like this is the thing, like South Africa has an insane amount of diversity in its music industry.
Yeah.
And like beautiful, well-produced, great stuff on all fronts. And I mean, naturally, in any industry, you're going to find people that are like going at it hard, you know. And what I love about South Africa is that there's just so much to untap here, you know, stylistically. So I find the same thing. And the other day, actually, I was listening to YFM, and it was like amapiano stuff coming through the radio, and I just found myself in this very nice sort of laid back kind of mood, just cruising down. And I mean, like amapiano is not necessarily the stuff that I listen to just normally, but honestly, it was like an hour trip, and I just like from start to finish was just listening to this amapiano, and I was just like, this is sick. This is like good stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and this is kind of like, and not every song in South Africa that South African artists produce are going to be great, but at least there's a really strong foundation of diverse genres in South Africa, and people are doing really cool stuff with it.
Yeah, they really, really are. And music is so exciting, and it excites me. And it excites me watching an artist like you with this smorgasbord of music, and you can hear you are so musical and so talented in so many ways, and it's just fun watching you have fun making the music and making people happy, because I think music is an international language of love. And I think you standing in Spain dancing with people that you couldn't understand when you first arrived or couldn't understand you, if you understand or you feel the beat, you know, and you have a feeling, and you're smiling at someone, and they're smiling at you, and you're having the same feeling when you're listening to music.
Well, it's a language. It's a language, and it's a language that a lot of people can identify with, and a language that a lot of people use to communicate. I mean, so in Spain, you know, there were a lot of moments. So this was an international music course that I was taking part in. So we had people from all over the place, like, you know, like bizarre countries in Eastern Europe, and they would bring like these traditional styles that and a large part of the program was to mix a lot of these styles, which was really, it was difficult, don't get me wrong, like coming at it with my like 4/4 Western brain, like, you know, I struggled occasionally to understand where they were coming from, but like try. Yeah. Just like dive in, try and understand what people are doing musically, and you'll find so much beauty. And the same applies here. I mean, it's everywhere, you know. And I suppose that's again, it just sort of ties in. Just try and understand each other a bit better, you know.
I think his go-to phrase should just be dive in, because you're so like, I want to try everything, and it's so much fun, and it's so cool, and it's inspiring. It's inspiring.
Thanks, Kerry-anne.
Telling people, like, just try it once, because you may suck and then you can try something else, you know? Or maybe you're good at it, but you'll never know until you try and until you dive in. And once you dive in, you can learn so much from those around you and from yourself, really.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's
so
exactly
dive in.
Dive in. Dive in. Steve Umculo, 2021. Dive in. Yeah, I'll learn how to say that in Zulu. I don't quite know yet.
So the next time you're here, I'll have to say a lot more. I'm gonna learn just that one sentence the next time you come on the show. I used to be really good at it though, because Adele, I go back to her, I had to MC her onto a couple of stages and on my show.
What a phenomenal artist.
She's absolutely
like
mind-blowing.
Her songwriting is honestly some of the best I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I remember first time I heard it was 4 years ago, and it was off her Lights EP. Like just amazing, like just incredible songwriting. I really hope that there's a time I can see her play again in the future. I think she's actually playing, she played recently, but I got a gig on the same day. But like just phenomenal. Sorry, I interrupted. I just wanted to get it off my chest.
At all. And I was getting so good at saying her name, and then she went overseas, and I was like, no, come back, come back, I can say your name.
I can say it. Finally.
Stay just for me.
Got this one in my back pocket. Look, I'm able to do it.
I tried. I did quite well. Don't leave. Now you're here. You're the new Adele. Excellent.
No. That is a lot to live up to. Adele, if you're watching, I don't consider myself the new you at all.
You're my new Adele, because she left me. She just left me cold and alone. So what was the first South African band that you watched that you were like, wow, I want to do that too?
Oh, great question, Kerry-anne. This is why you're the pro, eh? Jeepers creepers. It might be quite embarrassing, if I'm perfectly honest, because I mean, it would have been when I was really young, because I've been playing in bands since I was like 11 years old, and I honestly remember seeing Tweak when I was.
Tweak's the best.
No, they are the best, but it's just it was such a teen fad for me at the time, you know what I mean? But then also like teenage years, I was so horrible, you know. I changed my mind so drastically, you know, and then like 2 years later, I was like, whatever, Tweak, I'm into hardcore punk now, you know, kind of thing. So I went through these sort of phases, but Tweak must have been, I think, the first South African band I ever saw live, and the first time that I was like, this is so cool. Like they're like playing music on a stage. This looks like it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, at least for me. What was yours?
Gosh, Who was the first South African band I watched? No one ever asks me questions.
Oh, well,
I've got a really bad
Right back at
memory.
you.
Gosh. I think the first time I watched a show live, I was 12 or 13, and I watched the Rolling Stones with my dad, and that was pretty phenomenal.
Oh, no ways.
And yeah, that was amazing. And shortly after that, I I watched Sugar Drive at a club called, I think it was called Marilyn's in Kempton Park, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And this was so rock and roll because I think Paulie Flynn was wearing leather pants, and he just had such attitude, and I was just like, this is absolutely spectacular. And shortly thereafter, Warner, but I think Sugar Drive was definitely one of the first bands I watched way back then. I think I must have been about 15. You've got to check them out.
Check them out.
Rock
Are they still
staple. They aren't going anymore, but Sito from Warner is in a band with Paulie Flynn called Absinthe, and they do all these rock covers. They're incredible, but yeah, Paulie Flynn was just such a rock star, and so was his band. Everyone in the band was super cool, and it was the time, right around the same time, I watched Squeal and Arapaho. I was about 14, 15,
Yeah.
and it was around the time that Squeal and Arapaho and No Friends of Harry.
I remember No Friends of Harry.
Yeah, we're performing Psycho Reptiles, and that was fun. that was a fun time.
Oh man, we I don't know about still, because I haven't been in the scene for a very long time. But like the rock scene when I was growing up was banging, man. Some like really like the Narrow. Oh, damn.
Hey.
Like so good, so tight.
So good.
Remember 16 Stitch as well?
16 Stitch. Hey, dude, we could be here forever because
sorry.
when you throw a little 16 Stitch in there, I'm gonna top that with some same level madness, Wicked, Pestroy.
Oh, Pestroy. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, geez, this is.
Plum Seed, Morph Attack, boom, 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 boom. Let's go, Lithium. I'm ready. Now I'm ready to go.
And you also that's fair enough. But you had Jay Bones on here, I saw, from Fuzzy.
Yes.
Yeah, that was just my teen years. Just that's the anthem to my
Well,
teen years.
I think you being into punk, boom, and Fuzzy Gish are celebrating 21 years, I think,
crazy, yeah.
together
New album
this
as well.
year, and a new album's coming out, and it's just spectacular. So
amazing.
the amount of bands that come out of South Africa that just blow our minds, that are still out there.
Yeah, like just doing the good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for the music.
Thank you for
And I hope that I'm interviewing you in 20 years' time, and we're celebrating your 25. And that you have more stories to tell.
Dive in. I would be maybe I'm diving out at that point in time. You know what I mean?
Dive in, dive you.
It's a long swim. It's a long swim.
By then you're like, okay, fine. You're an international superstar. You're gonna be like, cool. I'm going to go and live in Hawaii.
Is that the dream?
On the beach, drink coconut milk.
That's what I'm gonna be doing.
Maybe that's what you're gonna be doing. But I'll come and interview you there.
Okay,
because
cool.
you'll be an international star and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
You heard it here first. You're welcome. So there's so much going down in your world. You have new music coming out. Where can people check you out, give you a like, give you some love, and tell us about the new stuff? Yeah.
So I mean, the internet machine's a pretty good place to start, people. I'll tell you that much for free. So Steve Umculo, Umculo. It's just, whatever. But new music. So album next year. With any luck, we'll be out of the Corona woods, and I'll have released that I'm hoping by May. So new singles out early next year, and then hopefully album by May. That's the first time I'm ever saying that, so let's hope it comes true.
It's out there now.
Yeah. No, I have to do it, right?
Yes.
Now there's a timeline and everything. So but new releases should be around by January, February, and then just check out Spotify and Instagram and follow all the things so you can make sure that you're in the loop. Yeah.
Steve Umculo.
Hey! That was the first time you got it. Well done. Oh yeah.
Thank you so much. Anyone you'd like to collaborate with There's so many amazing
There's
artists.
so many
But
amazing-
I'd like to hear who you'd like to work with, and you can choose 2 or 3. So I don't put you on the spot.
Yeah, no. So like, actually, Don Kleutl, I've wanted to collaborate with for a very, very long time. That would be amazing. And then Bongeziwe Mabandla, also incredible artist.
Yeah.
And then there's an up and comer in Cape Town who's doing amazing things called Digital Sangoma. Sorry, I just kind of choked up my Digital Sangoma. And him and I actually been in contact because we were on the 5FM indie chart simultaneously, and I checked out his stuff and I was like, dude, if you're in Joburg or I'm in Cape Town and we have the opportunity to do some things, let's do the thing. So yeah, I'd say at least top 3 in SA right now, although there's so many other artists that I would love to collaborate with, but Don Kleutl, Bongeziwe Mabandla and Digital Sangoma, those are top 3 at the moment, yeah.
Amazing. Sounds good to me. I thought you were going to say me.
Are you an artist? All of a
I
sardine?
was just having this conversation.
Kerry-anne and Steve, album coming out next year.
Yeah. Just Kerry-anne, just Steve.
Just, yeah. Or, I mean,
Steve-anne.
Steve.
Our music relationship
Stevie-anne.
name.
Stevie-anne.
That's very 70s.
Well, I mean, I'm growing my mullet out. So.
That's amazing. It's been so cool talking
It's
to
been awesome
you.
being here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
And I will see you in Hawaii in 25 years' time.
Yes.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. Until then, stay safe.
Stay tuned. I'm Kerry-anne, this is Steve Umculo, and this is the Hangout on the Marshall Sessions. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow this guy, give him a like, give him a love, go buy all of his music, and thanks again for checking
Yay! Hey guys, I'm Steve Umculo, and this is a tune that's a little less afro and a little more folky called Your Eyes Through Mine. It goes like this. I kicked the dirt from my shoes that it seemed like keeping me from home. Whoa, whoa. The open road to make my liquid tongue shut down. It's the only place where I can feel alone. So give me a little more time to live this distant life. Console my crowded mind. Free me from this lie to see your eyes through mine. I peel the wax from both my knuckles on the wheel. I hold your candle forever in my soul. Flames to vex my angry heart, it's still too warm to feel. Will I go colder as I'm growing old? So give me a little more time to live this distant life. Console my crowded mind. Free me from this lie to see your eyes through mine. Oh, to see your eyes. Well, I was told the world is round and I've been on the longest, straightest street. Whoa. I spend all my time driving around away from all the people that I meet. Whoa. And if I drive away from you for long enough, will I be back at your feet? So give me a little more time and grant this life to pass me by. Console my crowded